I'd like to call a regular session meeting to order at 7:24. Roll call, please.
Mayor Romanek?
Here.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Here.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Here.
Commissioner Watson?
Here.
Commissioner Ranello?
Present.
Will you please stand for the invocation given by Brian Rosenberg, followed by salute of the flag? Robinson. Sorry. Mr. Principal.
Mr. Principal, would you bow with me? Dear wise and loving God, first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here tonight. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our calls, for sustenance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work, and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thank you for loving us from your boundless, gracious nature. God, in the scriptures you've said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those varied authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city officials, and in particular for this assembled committee. I'm asking that you graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness for those who have a voice and say, and for those whose voices most people do not listen to. I pray for confidence in what is good and fitting, for the ability to work together in harmony, even when there is honest disagreement, and for personal peace in their lives enjoying their task. I pray for the agenda that's set before them today. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved city of Millville. It's in your most blessed name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Publics Meeting Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, there's one. Just the addition of Resolution Number 5, authorizing the city to purchase a 2023 Ford Utility Inceptor vehicle from Winter Ford in an amount not to exceed $55,229.
Thank you. Any presentations?
No, Mayor.
Bills.
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second motion.
Have a motion and a second to pay the bills. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve and dispense with the reading of the following minutes and to proceed with the normal order of business. April 2nd, 2024 work session.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the April 2nd, 2024 work session minutes. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Abstain.
Abstain. And Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Public comment on agenda items only. If you would like to comment on the agenda, please address the commission. Please state your name, address, and limit those comments to approximately 5 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, Patricia Kears, 409 Peach Drive. I just have a couple of questions. Resolution 19-3, which is under consent agenda items. The Clean Communities Program money that we're going to get, the grant, I guess it's a grant. Does that go into the tax authority, or is that going to go into the general budget?
I believe it's going in there. I think at the trash authority, I know we budgeted some for the trash authority, but I don't remember how much.
Okay.
I think it was from the Clean Communities Program.
Can you speak?
Here, Joe.
Vice Mayor, can you speak
Oh,
to the
sorry.
microphone?
I believe, is it the Clean Communities? Why don't we put some of that?
I believe that there was talk about the clean communities going into the solid waste utility. I think it was like 100,000. I think that was in the budget. But what this is being used, I would have to talk to my recycling
Yeah, I'd have
coordinator.
to look too,
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
Yeah, I didn't know if it had to do with the recycling or not.
I think there's
It does
part.
have, I think it
yeah.
does have to do with
I'm pretty
recycling.
sure it does, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
Clean
you.
Communities does a long list of things, including like, alleyway cleanup, assist with, there's like a long list and I can't
Trash
think of
pickup.
anything off the top of my head.
That's
So I'm
fine.
real sorry about
Our
that.
I won't put
trash
you on
cans
the spot for that.
Yeah.
And then my next question, well, I guess it's a question on Resolution 21-1, the change order for the sidewalk improvements for an extra $12,200. What exactly is that for?
Mrs. Kears, we had pavers ripped out to the curb by the Orr House on High Street. The pavers were at a grade 9, and they had to be at a 2 to meet compliance for ADA. So right now, you'll see that they're putting in a ramp there with the little bumps, truncated domes, I think they're called, and that's where that change order comes from.
Okay, and then I would just like to make a comment on that, and I'm a little confused, only because I'm married to a mason who's, for 45 years, he was a mason. Putting down the asphalt, I understand, is a great way to make sure the sidewalks are level, but like in the wintertime, when it rains and then it's going to freeze, the water's not going to go through the asphalt, and I'm afraid the pavers are going to come back up, which is why pavers are usually put on sand. So I just didn't know if that had been looked at, or if it's going to be an issue, or if something was put in there to prevent that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mr. Kears.
Matthew A. Gould,
On an agenda item only.
Yes, sir.
agenda item on.
Yeah.
May I find out how much total the budget was for the pavers? And also part two, is there plans to pave City Park's entrance right from the entrance down the steps into the park? Because it looks like an earthquake. How much money was spent for Rambone's? I see 12,200. What's the total approved budget to pay Rambone to repair part of the pavers?
With the original order was somewhere around $170,000,
Are you
I
serious?
believe. for
I think it
the
was,
Wait,
work.
I think it was
100 and what?
172, somewhere.
Yeah, something like that, plus the
172,000.
12. And that's just the phase one altogether. I
Okay,
think it's
phase
like
one, so there'll be
380.
It was
another
high threes, 380, 390.
380,
coming from
390, so
UED.
almost 400,000 sold. Right, 400,000. Is there any intention of fixing the earthquake-like lawsuit to the city?
Sir, that's not, this is just on the agenda, sir.
100%?
Questions regarding the agenda. That's not on the agenda.
If I
But
may.
only
So
the
the
12
paving stones were on the agenda, the lights aren't, so you have to wait
The
to
lights?
comment. No. You
I
have to wait
didn't
till the
mention
end to
lights.
comment on that.
I understand, thank you, sir, respectfully.
you.
And 1220 is approved? Item 21.1.
Not yet, we didn't vote on it yet.
Thank you, that's it. Thank you, Commissioner Ford.
Seeing no one else, I will close the public comment on agenda items only. Petitions and letters.
We have none, Mayor.
Reports of commissioners. Commissioner Hewitt.
Don't really have much. Know most people know that we had a pretty big fire on the east side of town, and I do need to send out another thank you to Vineland. 2 fire departments this time, Station 1, Station 2. It was hot. People were wore out. But once again, Millville PD controlling the area, fire department doing their job, and Millville Rescue, again, working. And a thank you to Laurel Lake. We needed them also for another rescue unit. Other than that, progress.
Please, no comments from the public. Continue. Commissioner.
Progress.
Yes, I was leaving City Hall, and it was a rough time when that fire on the east side broke out. I saw our new ladder truck coming down, and anybody that goes through Center City Millville at around 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock knows that it's absolute gridlock. So kudos that there was nothing, no accidents along the way with with emergency vehicles getting by. I know it was a hectic scene. There was a lot happening, and gracious for the mutual aid that we had. Thank you, Commissioner Hewitt. Commissioner Watson.
Yes, and Ms. Kears, I had some of the stuff for the clean communities in front of me, and I don't know why I didn't look down, but things such as the carts you can purchase with Clean Communities. And also, we have a couple new balers for the cardboard and the plastics that we obtained. That was also Clean Communities. So there's a couple things. So here we go, Recycling and Clean Communities report. In May, we replaced 14 damaged carts, 6 missing stolen carts. We delivered carts to 5 residents who did not have them previously. Residents purchased 22 carts. We picked up we picked up appliances at 77 stops in May. Residents can bring clean and dry cardboard and clean and dry plastic film to the 416 South 15th Street facility. This can be recycled along with small electronics, uncontaminated motor oil, and uncontaminated antifreeze. Residents may also bring rechargeable batteries to be recycled. Non-rechargeable batteries are not accepted. We would like to encourage residents to sign up for Recycling Coach. We currently have around 920 users. Everybody can download the app using the App Store on their phone, or they can do that on their home computer. There are many useful tools for the residents on the app, and we're working on expanding some things with the help of the new authority. One area we could expand on, but it's an additional cost, is the tool where people can schedule their bulk collection through the app. There is a current issue right now with the app. When ACUA joined the app recently, they instructed Recycling Coach to list materials for all municipalities they service with their information. It's in the fix. It should be fixed by maybe the end of next week. 143 notices of violations were written and 2 tickets were issued. For the Streets and Roads Department, continued. 77 appliances were collected, as I stated. 135 tires were collected. 213 bulk furniture stops were collected. 8,657 bags of loose leaves and grass clippings were collected. 251 street sweeping tickets were written. 229 electronic waste was received. 256.5 tons of loose brush was collected. Storm drain repair on Gorton Road was complete. Storm basin repair at Broad and Columbia was complete. The sinkhole on 10th and Mulberry is complete. Sinkhole repair at 6th and Garrettson was complete. Whew, boys have been working. Roadside grass cutting on Smith Road, Cooper Street, Bluebird, Sunset, and South 3rd and Railroad is complete. Our department wants to give a special thanks to Sewer and the engineering department for their assistance with the sinkhole at 6th and Garrison. Brush collection has ended for spring. Residents can place out to the curb the last 2 weeks of August for September brush collection. As a reminder, bulk waste must be scheduled to be picked up no later than 3 p.m. the Friday before the last full week of the month. The last full week of any month is the week with a Friday remaining in the last full week. If anybody has any questions or concerns, please contact Streets and Roads, 856-825-7000, extension 7388. Thank you to my department, working hard as usual. Hope they stay safe, hot, humid conditions. They're out there with the traffic. Good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Watson. Commissioner Ranello.
Yeah, we have a lot going on with recreation in our Parks Department right now. We held our annual fishing tournament on Saturday, June 1st, and we had 35 children participate. Big Dave's Tackle donated fishing bait for this event, and they must have been good bait because 272 fish were caught in 2 hours. That's pretty amazing, so thank you to Big Dave's Tackle. We'd like to congratulate all of our winners and all of the children who participated. There were lots of smiles and excitement, and that's what it's all about. We're very grateful for all the men and women who took the time out of their personal lives to put on this great event for our children, and I want to thank them because we couldn't do it without them. Some updates from our Parks Department. We have a lot of things going on. This week, our Parks Department completed their 3rd pass of grass cutting throughout our parks and other public areas. There's a lot of questions on the Morris River bicycling and walking trail. As most know, it's been closed for some time now due to storm damage and vandalism. To give you an idea, the Parks Department spent the last week repairing missing boards and missing bolts on the bridges. We're currently waiting for some funding to be approved to make the trail accessible again. Unfortunately, that's not happening anytime soon. We don't expect the funds to be available for approximately another 3 months. So for safety concerns, the trail has to stay closed. There are signs posted for a reason, and our website states that the trail is closed, so we're really asking everybody, please stay off the trail for safety. We'll continue to keep a close eye on the project until we have the funds to make it accessible again. Downtown Praver project comes up again. It's moving along this week. We moved into the 0 block, and this will be the last block to have pavers pulled up in this phase. We do have some concrete work that needs to be done throughout all of the blocks, but we expect to complete the Phase 1 paver project by the end of June. Parks Department would like to thank Sergeant Stadnick from the Millville Police Department and Josh O'Neill from Engineering Department for helping make this project run pretty smoothly. Finally, Union Lake Ball Field project is slated to commence on Monday, June 17th. We're hoping this project will only take 2 weeks to complete. That's the goal. For those unfamiliar with the project, here's what it's going to look like. The entire fencing is going to be removed. New fencing will go back in place of the old fence. The infield is going to be regraded, and all of the base receptacles, as well as the home plate and pitching rubber, will be replaced. We apologize for any inconvenience while this is going on, but once the project is complete, the Union Lake Ball Field is going to look amazing. Upcoming events. Hope Day is taking place this Saturday, June 8th, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's a free event to the public. It takes place at the field located at Dock and Foundry. The event will have a kids zone, grocery giveaways, music, lots of helpful information from local community organizations. Last year was a great turnout. We're hoping that people from the community participate this year as well. We also have our second fourth Friday of the season, and that's going to take place on Friday, June 28th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Buck Park, and we're celebrating Juneteenth. If you missed the spring block party and you didn't hear the live band, the music, this is your second opportunity. If you missed it, to come see them again. They'll be back by popular demand. They're a Millville band. It's a great family event, and we hope you guys come out and join in on the fun. If you have any questions on any of these events, please contact the Millville Recreation Department, 856-825-7000, extension 7394. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ranello. Vice Mayor Sui.
Also on June 17th at 6 p.m., there will be a public meeting. It's an informational study on the Nab Avenue Extension Feasibility Assessment. That will be at the 4-H Extension Center Auditorium at 291 Morton Avenue. That's the extension so that development may take place in that airport industrial zone. That way there's no traffic going through town. It will go around town instead of through town. So anyone seeking information about that, I suggest you go to that meeting. Laurel Lake paving project, the roads there, the 2 roads there that we're looking at doing, they should be out for bid shortly. Everything has been done by engineering, sent to the purchasing agent for final bid spec preparation. That's all for now.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Tomorrow we have Zoning Board at 6 p.m. And then on Monday, June the 10th at 6:30, there is Planning Board. I understand they are well-involved agendas. Since the past meeting, I attended the senior barbecue with the Parks Department along with Commissioner Ranello. That was an excellent turnout. There was over
270 something.
270. Yeah, it was a great turnout. Mary, I believe you were there. It smelled excellent. The seniors had a great time. The music was appropriately of the time period. It was great to see that side of the community out. We do a lot of events to encompass all age groups here in the city of Millville, and that was one of them for our senior crowd to enjoy. I hope everybody that attended the seniors barbecue enjoyed it, and can't wait to see you next year. We also had the Olympic Day Parade. That went smoothly without a hitch. It was nice and warm. I think all the kids enjoyed. I saw a lot of pictures from the Millville Public School System on Facebook about Olympic Day, and that's always a great tradition that happens in the city of Millville. We also had the Memorial Day picnic. This was the first year that the city of Millville took over control of the Memorial Day picnic. That one ran with help from the American Legion, Nab Leslie Post 82. It went really well. We had, we pay respect to those that never had the chance to come home on Memorial Day. It was great to see the community out at the Main Street Bridge, as we call it, and then out at Mount Pleasant Cemetery, where we had ceremony there as well. I was live with Jim Quinn on June 30th. I pop up there when he calls me the Monday before, so I try to give notice on my political, my mayor's Facebook page, as well as you can follow Quinn Broadcasting. But that was a very good interview. We interviewed out at the racetrack. It's always nice sitting down with the former mayor Jim Quinn. He has a lot of insight, and we always talk about a lot of good topics. And I was quite popular because I think when we were live, we were over 500-ish, 100 people. So I guess somebody wants to pay attention to what I have to say sometimes. The fishing tournament, that was a great day. There was a lot of kids. I was out there with the Parks Department Commissioner Ranello again last Saturday. That was good to see. People ask if we stocked the pond. Yes. In years past, we have. I think the longest fished was 11 inches when I was there. So there is fish. And yeah, as Commissioner Ranello said, over 200 were caught by kids as young as 5 all the way up to 18. So it's great to see the activity coming out, and I believe PAL does do a fishing tournament coming up soon. With that, we also have the City of Millville will hold a Community Development Block Grant public hearing on the city's draft 2024 annual action plan. Substantial amendment and amendments to the Citizen Participation Plan on Tuesday, June 18th at 4:30. All interested individuals and organizations are invited and encouraged to attend this public hearing. Late rental registration notices and violations have been sent to those rental properties who received invoices in the first quarter of 2024 but have not yet paid their registration. All rental properties require registration with the city and annual inspections. That's just a reminder. That is all that I have. Ordinances in the second reading, please.
Okay, first item is an ordinance amending Millville Code Chapter 1, General Provisions, Article 3, General Penalty, Section 17, Violations and Penalties to update the maximum penalty now permitted under NJSA 40:49-5 for an ordinance violation from $1,000 to $2,000.
Make a motion?
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on the ordinance in the second reading, item number 1. There is a public hearing regarding this ordinance. If anybody would like to address this ordinance in the commission, please come up to the podium. Seeing nobody, close the public hearing. Any comments of commissioners? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 2 is an ordinance amending Millville Code Chapter 50, Section 1, creation contained in Article 1, Millville Police Departments established in order to add 1 additional lieutenant.
Make motion?
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on the ordinance in the second reading, item number 2. There's a public hearing on this ordinance. Does anybody would like to address the commission on regarding this ordinance, please come to the podium. Seeing nobody, I will close the public hearing. Any comments of commissioners? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 3 is an ordinance renaming South High Street from the intersection of East Main Street to the intersection of Smith Street pursuant to NJSA 40:67-1K to Officer Christopher Reeves Way.
Make motion?
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on ordinance in the second reading, item number 3. There's a public hearing on this item number 3 regarding the renaming of East Main Street to Officer Christopher Reeves Way. If anybody would like to come to the podium, seeing nobody, I will close the public hearing. Any comments of commissioners? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 4 is an ordinance approving an agreement of sale that would authorize the City of Millville to convey a deed of easement to the State of New Jersey.
Make a motion?
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on ordinance in the second reading, item number 4. There's a public hearing again on this deed of easement to the State of New Jersey. If anybody would like to talk about it, please come up to the podium. Seeing that nobody wants to talk about it, any comments of commissioners? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ordinances in the first reading.
Okay, we just have an ordinance amending Millville Code, Chapter 39A, Motor Vehicle and Traffic Regulation Schedules, Section 21, Schedule 21, parking reserved for handicapped persons in order to make clear that such parking spaces meet the definition of a restricted parking zone as per NJSA 39:4-207.
Make the motion?
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on ordinance first reading, item number 1. Any comments?
Yes. Just to make it clear, these are handicapped marked parking spaces within the city of Millville that are a dedicated handicap parking space to a handicapped resident that lives there. These spaces cannot be occupied by a visitor. Give you a perfect example, in a neighborhood from Pennsylvania because they have a Pennsylvania handicap placard. They are not handicap spaces like in shopping centers and stuff. These folks have gotten these signs placed in front of their homes because they are handicapped, they live there. That is making this clear and making it stronger.
Thank you for the clarification. Roll call, please.
Okay, Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Consent agenda items.
Okay, consent agenda items are considered to be non-controversial by the Board of Commissioners and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the governing body member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. So item 1 is a resolution authorizing the insertion of an additional item of revenue in the calendar year 2024 budget, which is now available from the state of New Jersey in the form of the National Opioid Settlement Grant for year 4 in the amount of $31,611.13. Item 2 is a resolution authorizing the insertion of an additional item of revenue in the calendar year 2024 budget, which is now available from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs 2024 Neighborhood Preservation Program Implementation Plan Update Year 4 in the amount of $125,000. Item 3 is a resolution authorizing the insertion of an additional item of revenue in the calendar year 2024 budget, which is now available from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Clean Communities Program in the amount of $83,730.81. Item 4 is a resolution authorizing the issuance of alcoholic beverage licenses that have met the renewal conditions for July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. And item 5 is a resolution authorizing adjustments to the tax and utility records.
Make a motion to approve all consent agenda items.
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve all consent agenda items. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolutions.
Okay, item 1 is a resolution authorizing change order number 1 for Rambone Concrete LLC to the High Street Downtown Sidewalk Improvements Phase 1 project for additional funds in the amount of $12,200.
Move the resolution, I have certification of funds in the amount of $12,200 signed by the CFO, Susan Quinones.
Second the motion?
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 1. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 2 is a resolution approving off-airport land lease between the United States of America Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration, and the City of Millville.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion?
We have a motion and a second on item number 2. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 3 is a resolution approving an emergency relocation agreement between Roger Patel, DBA Suburban Studios Millville, and the City of Millville.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 3. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 4 is a resolution authorizing sponsorship of $5,000 for the Greater Millville Chamber of Commerce.
Move the resolution, I have certification of funds in the amount of $5,000 signed by the CFO, Susan Quinones.
Second the motion?
We have a motion and a second on resolution item number 4. Any comments?
Yes. The sponsorship between the city and the Greater Millville Chamber of Commerce is an effort to improve the relationship between the city and the chamber. Currently, we both operate independently of each other. This sponsorship will allow us to both work towards one common goal of recruiting new business to Millville. Economic growth is the key to the future of the city. The Chamber, in conjunction with the city, will be able to showcase Millville's assets to potential new business owners, taking on responsibilities such as tours of the city to prospective ratables, ribbon cutting ceremonies, etc.
I mean, there's many things that we can't do as a government that the chamber can do as a nonprofit. So that's why we contract this out, you know, the showing around, the whatever entertainment the chamber offers, whatever seminars the chamber offers. And it allows our businesses, sort of like a synergy, right? If you have a business coming to Millville, you want them to deal with people in Millville. Now, previously, when we were partnered with the chamber, and I was against it because they didn't have a good answer to what they did. So we decided to talk to them and tell them what we wanted, and they were absolutely, thought that was great, and that's what they're doing. So now I think it's the time to try it out again, and if it doesn't work, but I believe it will work. There's a pretty good rapport now, and I think we need this at this time, so.
Yes, I would agree. I am a board member on the chamber. It is well worth it. I thank everybody that was in part of making this deal get together. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 5 is a resolution authorizing the city to purchase the 2023 Ford Utility Inceptor vehicle from Winter Ford, 250 Berlin Road, Cherry Hill, for an amount not to exceed $55,229.
Make motion, and with that, I have certification of funds in the amount of $55,229, signed by our Chief Financial Officer, Susan Quinones.
Second motion.
We have a motion and second on resolution item number 5. Any comments?
Yes. The funds, just in case anybody was asking or thinking, this is a replacement unit. This money is coming from insurance money from 2 prior police vehicles.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Romanek?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Public comment portion. We have now reached the public comment portion of our meeting. Anyone who would like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name, and address your concerns. Please limit your comments to approximately 5 minutes.
Good evening. Tamara Davis, Second and Pine. I noticed that the crosswalk signs have been replaced on High Street, which is great, because it's been a long time since they've been there. Are there replacements available should they get cracked, stolen, moved, whatever? Because that's what happened the last batch. They got cracked, stolen, moved, and they were never replaced. And this was pre-COVID. So now that they're back, that's great. But I'm hoping that you have some in your inventory that when that happens, when they get destroyed, they'll be replaced. Now, the other question I have in regards to that is when are the yellow zones planned to be painted? And when will the parking be regulated for people not to park in the yellow zones? Because it's very difficult to see someone in the crosswalk if there is a car parked in the yellow zone. We need to have a clear vision, because I will stop. I have no problem stopping, and I do even without the signs for a pedestrian on High Street if they're in the crosswalk. But I can't always see them because there is a car parked and they're blocked. And I might just see them stepping out and I have to slam on the brakes. So please, if you're gonna improve it with these the signs, let's start painting the yellow zones. Let's start regulating the parking, and that includes anyone who's there from 10 minutes to overnight, because it's getting dangerous. This morning when I was trying to pull out on High from Pine, there was someone parked in the yellow zone. I had to pull my nose out and I almost got hit. So please, it's very important for the safety of the pedestrians and for the people that live there. My next question has to do with no, it's not a question, but a concern. Mr. Watson, as detailed and well presented your presentation during the work session was, you made a comment in there that kind of bothered me. And you said that the employees and the people will have to live with the decisions that you make. I don't think you quite live with the decision that has been made about the bulk pickup. Living in Center City, especially at this time of the month and this time of the year when people are moving out the apartments, they don't know the rules. They don't care about the rules. They dump their bulk on the front of their house and they leave it. I have been staring at the same end table on Pine Street for 3 months. Another resident on Pine Street put down a mattress or something. It was on the street. Someone finally moved it so they could park there, and it's still there. Okay? Something immediately needs to be done. This is not working. I drove down the main thoroughfare, 2nd Street, to get home from 55. It looked like a war zone. It looked like there was a flood and people were just dumping their bulk on the street. This is not working. Now, I diligently paid, and I'm willing to pay the $240. I paid it up front in the beginning of the year. I feel I had to have a little bit of service that comes with it, and we're not getting anything. And all I'm looking at is garbage and garbage and garbage. That's now going to get wet, all right? I understand you're putting out tickets, all right, but it's still sitting there. These out-of-town landlords don't see the impact as much as someone who lives in the city sees it. So we're living with a decision that this whole entire commission made, well, 4 of you made when you were here, and it's not working. And I don't understand why ACUA could not be kept to their contract, so you could have thought of a better plan. People are not calling, or they're just dumping, and it sits there. Immediately. Summer's coming, more people are going to be moving out, and it's just going to get worse. And the same thing goes with the yellow zone parking. Just going to get worse. Thank you.
Would you like me to wait the comment?
Yeah, answer it at the end, please.
Beverly Smith, 311 High Street, Millville, New Jersey. I'm here this evening to see if there might be other options for fixing the sidewalk pavers on High Street instead of cutting down the trees. Is it possible that there are other things that could be done to save our beautiful trees, to give us shade and homes for the birds and squirrels so they can play, and they add beauty to our downtown? And our downtown needs all the beauty we can get, as opposed to having the trees get cut down. I have lived and worked on High Street at Colonial Florist and Gifts for many years, and it breaks my heart, and it makes me cry to see our beautiful, healthy trees just cut down. They are an asset to High Street, and I'm wondering, is it possible there is some other way that we could save the trees but still get the pavers to look the way they do, nice and even? I stand at High and Mulberry and look towards City Hall, and it looks barren, bare, and sad that the trees are gone. I look north, High Street's beautiful. There's trees everywhere, green, lush foliage. The trees are beautiful. I would be glad to serve on a committee to look into maybe something else instead of cutting down the trees. I would talk to Sam. I would work with her if that was possible, or anybody, to see if there's any other possibility of saving the trees but fixing the sidewalks. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Thank you.
Greg Kears, 409 Peach Drive. I'm here saying this on my own, and this is my own opinion. Just going to point out that when one sits on a board, they shouldn't be voting on things in which they are sitting on a board of, because it could be a conflict of interest, even if it may not be. It could be perceived as such. So it's often a good idea to abstain, and that is my only comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no one, I will close the public comment portion. Closing comments of commissioners. Commissioner Hewitt?
Yeah, I will address one comment for Mrs. Davis. I saw you sort of sent your question to me. Police department doesn't paint curbs. I agree they do need to be painted. But I just, and enforcement, I think you've talked with the chief. We're doing what we can. I understand what you're moving around. Everybody's moving through town. I hate coming down High Street. I got a little bit larger vehicle than most people drive in this town, and I got to be really careful. I understand, but I sort of got the idea during your thought up there that maybe you were wondering if I had an answer to painting curbs. I don't. It belongs to a department. And the other thing I will do, I will request, because I don't know if they're going to do it this summer or not, but we have had people from the county that are working off time that come here and do things during the summer. I will bring that forward and see if that's a possibility, if that helps, which I think it would if we can get somebody to do it. That's all.
Thank you, Commissioner Hewitt. Commissioner Ranella?
I just want to thank everybody for coming here and addressing their questions. I'm a fresh face, as you know. I may not have the answers at the moment, but I do hear you. And if I have the answers, I definitely will. If I don't, I'll try to find them. And I just want to thank you. There's a lot of you that I see time and time again. And your commitment to this city and your care for the things that go on, it doesn't go unnoticed. So keep coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ranella. Commissioner Watson?
I do. I'm just gathering some thoughts here. Ms. Davis, to answer a couple of your questions, we do have signs at streets and roads. I gotta look specifically to see if we have crosswalk signs in inventory. Also, I know you mentioned, obviously with the solid waste utility, the new fees, and the changes with bulk waste. There is an abatement period once a notice of violation is issued, and during that period, we kind of can't do anything about it. But there are several properties that we're looking at that has bulk waste on the and at the curb. Once they're past their abatement period, streets and roads are already instructed in high traffic areas to remove the bulk waste. And that bulk waste, the charges that the city is paying for personnel and equipment to go out there is going to be added on to the ticket when they go to court. So there is some changes, or not changes necessarily, but there are some actions, to get that bulk waste removed. Also, notice violations are again a way of educating our public. A lot of things went into consideration for the bulk waste change. We kind of went over that in the past few months. But the biggest thing is to think about our future costs and what we're spending with ACUA. We do have negotiations coming up, and there's other things that's being thought of, to try to help that out so we can keep our solid waste utility rate down as low as we can. So that's kind of like that summed up, I guess, in a small couple sentences. I do have a couple other comments. I don't know if it's right time. I guess in the next meeting we can put up for discussion about the 15th Street warehouse as we approach September, or as we approach closing. We kind of got to see if we're going to be on the same page. Finding temporary solutions is going to cost us a lot of, well, it's going to cost money, but it's in efforts to have a better future in the long run. So if we're on the same page with temporary storage, we have to take those actions now, start getting prices for it, and we got to start moving material. If our plan is to buy a building and everybody's on board with that, obviously except for me, then why waste the time, effort, and money on temporary storage? So I would assume the next meeting we would have to come up with some kind of decision on the way we're going to take this. Time is approaching. We don't have many meetings before September, so we're going to have to kind of come up with a joint effort and a joint decision so we know which way each of us is taking. Again, streets and roads is fully out of the building. I have no problem meeting with any departments, as I already have, to find temporary storage. I have no problem continuing to work towards permanent solutions, but I kind of need a little bit of direction from my fellow commissioners. With that, that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Watson. Vice Mayor Sui?
Sure, first I'll address the trees. So as you see, unfortunately, those trees are gonna cause damage to the sidewalks, and eventually they're gonna get tangled in power lines. So what you see happening is trees are going in pots to replace the trees that we cut down. It's unfortunate that we have to cut down a tree, but another one will grow. And otherwise, it's just gonna this project is roughly $380,000 to fix the stones, and much of that damage is caused by trees. It's unfortunate, but trees and sidewalks and paving stones don't really mix together all that well. Next, I will address the bulk pickup. While we did all vote for the trash utility, the bulk pickup is solely in Mr. Watson's department. If you look at the E code and you look at chapter 60, you will see that. But as Mr. Watson said, we are sitting down to negotiate with the ACUA. Now, I forget the date. I think it's next week sometime, right?
June. We have a pre-meeting, and then I believe it's the first week of July, we have a meeting with ACUA.
And lastly, I want to thank you, Mrs. Kears, for coming in City Hall and spending some time with me going over that airport enterprise zone map. It was a much more enjoyable conversation than we usually have here. So thank you. And with that, progress.
Good to see progress is being made. Yes, we have Hope Day this Saturday, as well as the New Jersey Motorsports Park Food Truck Fest. I will definitely be at one, which is Hope Day, Food Truck Fest. I don't know if I will make it. Ms. Davis, yes, the High Street signage, crosswalk paint, I do just think it just needs to be painted and freshened up just for utmost safety. There is motor vehicle code, such as like, as soon as you were saying that, you can't park 15 feet, I'm trying to remember driver's ed training right now, 15 feet from the stop sign or, curb edging. And I think it is faded, and, we do need more visible improvements for utmost safety on High Street. Ms. Smith, the trees, yes, trees were causing problems on High Street, problems such as lawsuits. We needed to fix the area around the trees, and that unfortunately was the trees had to be removed. I do like the potted trees. I think it is an added addition, the same with having Vicky, what's her business? She paints them all.
The pot, yeah.
I'm sorry,
The
I'm drawing a
lady.
blank myself.
I
I just met,
She
so-
has a business on High Street.
Yes.
I'm blanking as well as everybody else. Introducing
you.
Vicky.
Yes.
She painted all the ones that we see currently, and I think there's great designs and great colors, and just brings more colorful vibrance to downtown Millville. That is all I have for this evening. I thank you all for being here and all your comments. Our next meeting is regularly scheduled on a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. So I hope everybody went out and voted in the primaries. I appreciate you, and all have a safe and wonderful evening in the city of Millville, New Jersey. Motion to adjourn.
Make
So
move.
moved.
Second move.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody wants a copy of that 15th Street presentation, it's up here, you can have it.